Exodus chapter 36. Now Bezalel and Oholiab and every gifted artisan in whom the Lord put wisdom and knowledge to know how to do all manner of work for the service of the holy place did according to all the Lord commanded. Then Moses called Bezalel and Oholiab and every gifted artisan in whose heart the Lord put wisdom, every one whose heart willed freely to come and do the work. They received from Moses all the offerings the children of Israel brought for all the works for making the holy place. And they continued bringing him freewill offerings every morning. Then all the wise men who were doing all the work of the holy place came, each according to the work he was doing. And they spoke to Moses, saying, "The people bring much more than enough for the work of the Lord commanded us to do, for the work the Lord commanded us to do." So Moses gave a commandment and proclaimed it throughout the camp, saying, "Let neither man nor woman do any more work for the offering of the holy place." Thus the people were restrained from bringing more, for the material was sufficient for all the work to be done, indeed, too much. Then all the gifted artisans among them who worked on Aaron's garments for the holy places did as the Lord commanded Moses. He made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, spun scarlet, and fine twined linen. Thin plates of gold were then cut into threads to be woven into the blue, purple, spun scarlet, and fine twined linen, and they formed it as a woven piece. He then coupled the ephod together from its two sides, a work woven by a mutual twisting of the parts into one another. They constructed it according to the same workmanship of gold, blue, purple, spun scarlet, and fine twined linen, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then they made 2 emerald stones, clasped together and set in gold, carved and engraved as signets are engraved with the names of the sons of Israel. He attached these as memorial stones to the shoulders of the ephod for the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then they made the oracle, a woven work of embroidery like the workmanship of the ephod of gold, blue, purple, spun scarlet, and fine twined linen. They made the oracle square by doubling it. A span was its length, and a span its width when doubled. Interwoven into this texture was a setting of 4 rows of stones. The first row a sardius, a topaz, and an emerald, and the second row a carbuncle, a sapphire, and a jasper, and the third row a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst, and the fourth row a chrysolite, a beryl, and an onyx, set around with gold and fastened with gold. The 12 stones bore the names of the sons of Israel, their names engraved like a signet, each one with its own name according to the 12 tribes. Then they made on the oracle chains, plated fringes of gold, a work of pure gold. They also made 2 gold bosses and 2 gold rings. Then they put the 2 braided chains of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the oracle. They also attached 2 golden clasps to the rings on both sides of the oracle, and the 2 clasps to the 2 couplings. Then they placed the 2 gold bosses, joining them to the shoulders of the ephod, opposite one another in the front. They made 2 gold rings and attached them to 2 loops on top of the oracle, near the back of it, the side toward the ephod. Then they made 2 gold rings and attached them below the 2 shoulders of the ephod in front, woven into the ephod like the coupling above. Then they bound the oracle by means of its rings of the ephod with a blue cord. That way it would be above the intricately woven band of the ephod, and the breastplate would not rip away from the ephod, as the Lord commanded Moses. He made the undergarment of the ephod of wood of woven work, olive blue. The collar of the undergarment was plaited and interwoven, having a border all around that it would not tear. Beneath the border of the robe there were knobs of flowering pomegranate, constructed of blue, purple, spun scarlet, and fine twined linen. Then they made bells of pure gold and put the bells on the hem of the robe all around between the pomegranates. The golden bells and pomegranates, all the hem of the robe, were for the ministry, as the Lord commanded Moses. They made fine linen robes, woven work, for Aaron and his sons, and belts of fine linen, and turbans of fine linen, short trousers of fine linen, and their sashes of fine woven linen, blue, purple, spun scarlet, made by a weaver, according as the Lord commanded Moses. Then they made the plate of gold, a dedicated thing of the holy place, of pure gold, and on it he wrote an inscription like the engraving of a signet, Holiness to the Lord, and they tied a blue cord to it to fasten it above on the turban, in the manner the Lord commanded Moses.